Where are my gloves? I'm in the month of May. I decided to drive up to upstate New York in the Catskills to spend my weekends at the cabin, or to spend my weekend at the cabin. This is the land that is a part of my legacy. This is a part of my estate plan. This is my land that gives me intentional living, right? Everything I do here, I feel like has purpose, with the intent that I'm creating something for my future self. And this is what this video is all about. I'm gonna spend some time in my pollinating garden, which needs a nice little cleanup. And I figured that this video is about introducing you to my way of living, why I did what I did, why I'm making the choices that I'm making, and hopefully it will inspire you, all right? I'm 47 years old. I live full-time in New York. I also am between my home here in the Catskills, which is a cabin that sits on over an acre of land, and I'm building a low-maintenance garden that consists of conifers and perennials and ornamental grasses across my property. So I'm zoning it out in different gardens, and it's taking some time. I made some mistakes. And then I have the apartment in Brooklyn, which is so great because it keeps me close to the culture. It keeps me close to my industry, what I do for work, which is I'm a director in the events business, right? Specifically the vertical of tech and AI. That's not where I started, but my skill sets are transferable. So I was able to move into that space, which I'm really happy about. But my background is apparel and fashion and working for major fashion brands. And then I have a rental property in my hometown in Delaware, right? It started off not as a rental property. We were living there and going back and forth. It's always been two places, right? It's been like either Brooklyn or the Catskills, or it's been Brooklyn or Delaware, or it's been Delaware and the Catskills. It's always been maintaining two properties and renting out one. And I feel like that's always, intentional to know that, hey, reimagine your space to work for you. If you know that you can't be in all three or all two, maybe it's about renting one out. For the Catskills, though, where I'm at here, we're not renting this one out. Prior to Delaware, I did own that house up there. So that was in 2022, I bought that house. I sold it in 2022, 2024, I sold that house and sold it for a nice gain. I was running it as a successful Airbnb. I had it for about, I would say, 2 years I was running it as an Airbnb, and it was great. I needed my time back. It all comes down to time, and that's why I decided to make that intentional decision of selling it and getting something in Delaware, which is great. I'm from Delaware. It's my hometown, and I wanted to be smart, Luke and I, about where we wanted to build our roots, how far we were willing to roam, what type of legacy were we starting to create, where were we going, who are we becoming. That is what I hope to give you. So let me explain to you about this particular part of the front yard. I am building different zones of conifers, maiden grasses, and perennials. I have a zone 1, which is a front bed, quite large, and if you haven't seen that video, you should watch that here. Me and my aunt actually transformed the front yard, and we edged it, we retransplanted. It turned out beautiful. We are building 3 separate garden beds, and this particular garden section is called Mom's Garden, which is a tribute to my grandmother and Luke's mother. They are both in heaven, rest in peace. So right now, I just wanted to get ahead of our pollinating garden, right? Because as you make your way through the garden bed, you will notice that we have really nice hues of yellow and green and blue. I'm building a 5-foot kind of path here, 5 feet, that will basically be a track for a utility vehicle, which will allow me to have access across my entire property, front yard and backyard. This section towards the back is the 3rd garden bed that we are going to be kind of edging out, and that's going to happen in the next week or 2. But what I'm working on today is my pollinating garden, which I have grasses, I have peonies, I have ferns, I have catnip, I have this nice cypress, which is going to waterfall over. I have some more grasses. I have a juniper here. It's a rock bed. It's full of moss. It definitely has a lot of character. It sits right adjacent to alliums, more ferns, some salvia, a nice little shady garden here with some hostas, a nice water feature. And then in this section over here is going to be my grill and where we sit. So this is like the side of the house, which is designed for entertaining, relaxation, and also a peace of mind. And that's exactly what makes this property so intentional for me, right? Like, I can relax. You know, I'm so busy in New York with my job, and I enjoy what I do. So I like to escape the hustle of New York. Sometimes you just need a little peace and quiet. So that's what I like to do here. I come up here, I reimagine the space, I think about what it can be and the life that I am trying to create for myself, my family, and my friends. A place of happiness. This is what I get when I'm upstate, and people ask, like, Stephon, why are you driving 2 hours every weekend? Why are you leaving Brooklyn, Manhattan, you know what I mean, to come up to New York, to the woods? Like, I don't get it. Like, why do you want to be around ticks? Why do you want to be around bears, rattlesnakes, deer? This is the wildlife that we have in this region. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not walking around here all the time. Yeah, we seen a rattle. Yeah, we seen a bear. Definitely had a tick on me just 2 weeks ago. Luke had to pull that out. That was disgusting. So it's kind of something that I know is going to make me a better human. You know, my grandmother is from South Carolina. That's where my roots are from. That's where my bloodline comes from. And they were family oriented, and she loved the garden. And it's something that I feel like was passed down to me. I was never this guy who was about the garden all the time. I like the scene, the club scene, you know, but no, this land up here has given me a new purpose in life. Look at that. What I'm pulling up. This is what I'm working on. I'm edging out. It's pretty though, some grass. One thing with my garden and with life is starting to rain. But see, look at this. Like I'm working and I'm gardening in the rain. Like, you know what I mean? Like, am I doing that in the city? Like, no. You know, one thing I think about is structure. I talk a lot about that in the reset method, which is the worksheet that I've created, which you should definitely take a look at. It's really about 5 steps, which is about reclaiming your time, right, on the weekends or during the week. And one thing I can say is having conifers in the yard has provided me with structure, right? My cypress, which needs some help only because we bought him at the end of the season. It had some shock because of the weather, but I do have some nice spruces over there, which are doing really well. Right here, have a nice cypress here, another blue over here. She's really performing. And then you get Colorado blue spruce, a weeping juniper, a deodora. But structure is important. And structure is important in your life as well, right? So I'm gonna go this way. I don't know how you feel, but when we got this property, I didn't know about, you know, what do I need? What do I need for this to run and feel secure all season long, right? And for me, that structure was an estate plan. You know what I mean? Like, we got that book right. We put this house in a trust. You know what I'm saying? So, like, again, intentional decisions that is going to be beneficial as we get older, creating steps and plans that is going to work for us. My decision to leave the city every Friday, travel 2 hours to play in the dirt and be around wildlife. This is the structure that I need to be happy. I'm really trying to simplify my garden beds, right? I think this particular bed, I had, I don't know, probably over 10 different varieties. I had annuals in here, I had perennials in here, I had this in here, and I just wasn't really making any sense. So I'm trying to simplify this garden bed, and when I just come up here and I just clean it up, do some maintenance, cut back some weeds and grasses and stuff like that. So yeah, just simplifying the garden has been important. Simplifying your life is an important step in intentional living. Where are you? What are you cutting back from? What can you do right now to cut back? How can you simplify your life? Think about that. How are you going to simplify this process? You definitely don't want a garden that is going to be high maintenance. Don't get caught up on what you see. You want something that you feel is going to be easy to maintain. Think about that. Where in your life are you simplifying? For me, I simplified in so many different ways. One, I told myself, hey, I need my time back, so I'm not going to be able to have time to be across 3 properties and manage an Airbnb, work full time all in the same week. I'm like, something had to give. No, I'm like, okay, so I'll rent that one out. I'll simplify my garden here on the property that I love so much. And this will give me the joy that I'm looking for. I'm using plant varieties that are low maintenance, conifers, perennials, grasses. That way, my palette is strong, seasonal, and low maintenance. The only thing I do have to do is get some of these weeds up and grasses, and I haven't done this in a while over here. That's why I'm pulling up so much, and excuse me, I'm taking this time to speak to you. You probably didn't think that we got FedEx deliveries here in the country. But we do. UPS comes here. We got a little cute little mailbox. Post office. It's probably the size of a shed. So that's quite rural. And so many leaves here. We've cut down probably, I don't know. We got here in 2019. We wanted to simplify the yard. I didn't want to have to always do a lot of leaf maintenance. So we've had about 20 something trees cut down. Some compromising the integrity of the house. So they were like over the roof line and they had to go. Some were dead. So we definitely made sure that we cut down the trees that needed to be cut down first. I wanted to engineer my life when it came to the garden. I'm like, okay, Stephon, if you're gonna make some decisions, you need to think about your Saturday stuff. And I'm saying, like, what can you do today that will give you your time back when you're up here next week? Making sure that the bed is mulched properly helps sustain or suppress the weeds, right? So I don't have to do this. So that's a learning. I didn't really do so much maintenance at the beginning of spring or, before, I don't know. I just feel like this section took a little bit of heat. I got really busy and I'm having to get out here, rake leaves in the rain, which is nice. You can't stop Mother Nature. Where can you re-engineer your life? Maybe in the next 24 hours, you should think about that. I challenge you that. In the next 24 hours, think about what you can do to engineer your life, engineer your garden. Decisions that you make today will actually give you your time back over the weekend. Is that just going around your property and weeding if you see something so it doesn't become overgrown? Is it saying that, hey, I'm actually going to work on this report at work this week on a Tuesday, so then come the weekend, I can hang out with friends and family? Like, how are you going to engineer your life? What systems do you got in place? What routine do you have in place to minimize your life maintenance, your garden maintenance? That's what I want for myself, and I have been. It started with reimagining the yard, having a vision for this property. It didn't look like this. It took time. Since 2019, I have been digging by hand, moving rocks. Every rock I've dug out of this ground. It's been about establishing structure in this property, planting conifers, planting evergreens, planting perennials, no vegetables, no herbs. Like, I don't want that annual mix. I just want establishing structure. Simplifying my yard. So like looking at stuff and being like, okay, Stephon, what in your life needs to go? What in this garden needs to go? Now it's about engineering my choices so I don't have a lot of maintenance. Hey, if you know you're gonna have to eliminate a bed full of weeds, make sure you use some mulch, all right? This is what I am teaching here on my channel. This is what I want for you. This is what the reset method is all about. All right, so I'm gonna trust this process today. And that is the last step of reset, right? Is to trust the process. That took a long time for me to do. It really did. It hasn't really started until this year, where I'm actually really trusting the process with, this thing called home ownership and this thing called gardening. This is when I really started to feel like this is the year where I started getting it right. I started writing things down. I started to really look at this as something that is going to be good for me. Even when it comes to the YouTube, what type of value can I come here bringing? How can I actually build authentic trust with the folks who are taking the time to listen to me? I'm not talking about tours and and things like that. I think that's beautiful, and one day I will probably have that. But when I want my channel, I'm trusting that my channel will become an opportunity for someone to say, "What, I see myself in him. I'm learning something from him. I'm achieving by following some of the steps that he has. How did he get 4 houses? And this is 2026. So how did he get 4 houses from 2019 to 2026? How does he roam around? Like, what is this guy's secret sauce? Hey, I'm no gatekeeper here, so definitely want to give that all to you. But I am trusting the process. I am writing things down. I am creating a system, and I am doing things with intent. I love that little fountain. I have to go move the leaves, because now I want to come back and do the front here, right? So I need to take these leaves down. Okay. Wet leaves. Just moved all of the leaves. This is pretty much a little patio area. We have a nice smoker here that, I'll take the cover off and put, I don't know what we're gonna do. So this is a smoker grill and then a propane grill. So charcoal and propane, I'm just gonna try to figure out which grill we're gonna use this season. But okay, you continue to stick with me, and you can do that by subscribing to the channel. I am posting weekly, Sundays mainly. The goal is to increase that, but it's hard, to come here and do this weekly and deliver content and edit and all of that. So right now it's Sundays, but hopefully I will go to Wednesdays. Let's recap it together, right? So the R is for reimagining, and when we think about reimagining, we just really want to think about, okay, did I inherit a home that has a lot of maintenance? Like, what did you inherit? And how can you reimagine that? What do you need to do? That is the first step in reset, is reimagining what you inherit so we can move to the next step. It's like basically identifying and saying, hey, there's something wrong here and it needs to be changed. The next step is about that structure. And think about this, like structure, you need structure. For me, it came with a house, it came with a full-time career, stability, structure. You need that. And the garden, that's important to me because I don't want to be in my garden every season replanting annuals. I want structure. I want perennials that are going to come back every year. I want that opportunity to have my time back. So that E for establishing structure is the second step in reset. And that's a very, very important step. I think my structure game in terms of conifers, I probably planted over, I don't know, 20 something different conifer trees. It's not like for every tree we got cut down, we did a conifer, but it feels that way. It really does. But the conifers are the legacy that I'm going to be leaving behind in this property. The structure that I'm creating with this property by, putting things in estate plans and making sure that that legacy lives on. That's the type of structure that I want to create. And shout out to my girl Monique, who put me in contact with the lawyer Daniel from Miller & Miller, and I'll drop his information down below, who is servicing the New York area for estate planning, right? Because you need that. You definitely need that. It comes with having property and land, and you want to protect yourself in your garden. So hey, okay, that's some grown man stuff, right? But that's what you think about. That's what you think about when you're my age at 40. You think about decisions, structural decisions. The next step with reset is that S for simplifying, right? You definitely need to simplify things in your life. Whether that is your garden choices, your plant variety choices rather, whether that is how you're commuting to work, how you are going to take your next meeting. You know what I mean? I think about this because I'm going from New York to the Catskills every week. So I'm like, how am I going to simplify this? How am I going to make my journey nice? How am I going to get through my week so then I can enjoy my weekend? So simplifying things is important. In the garden for me, it was making a clear decision not to have so many variety of plants. I know what I like. I wanted to simplify my color palette. When it comes to my conifers, I like yellow, blues, and greens. When it comes to my perennials, like whites, purples, and yellows. So you're simplifying the decision-making process, simplifying the actions that you have to take. I'm so curious to know, where are you simplifying? Because look at this. Shock, simplify these leaves. Simplifying by going around and doing some weeding will definitely allow you to not have so much buildup over here. Look at that root. So I think I'm gonna leave this little section here for erosion, because I know that this is not so tight up in here. So let's see. Yeah. Okay. That E in reset, that last E in reset is about engineering, right? And this is, you think about the ROI. Think about all that you're doing in life, in your garden. What is that one change you can do to make sure that you are saving on your ROI, that return on investment, right? If you knew you planted a lot of things in this bed and you're approaching a hot summer in your zone, then mulch. Mulch would be a really good way to engineer this bed, which is coming up next. And I say that because I will suppress weeds. So my return on my investment right now is time. I don't want to be out here, weeding all the time. So let me get some mulch here. Think about what's important to you, that return on investment. What changes are you going to do to engineer your garden, to engineer your life? As a 47-year-old man with property, responsibilities, a career, a family that I love, friendships that I'm trying to continue to cultivate and grow, being super busy, like I'm trying to get that all right. And I don't have all of the answers, but I'm definitely one step at a time when it comes to engineering your life in your garden. That does not come overnight. Sometimes you're gonna feel guilty because you didn't engineer it the right way. Starting to come down, so I need to, button this up. The final step in reset is trust the process. And I know it's hard, but writing things down, creating a log, having systems, following the reset method, filling out the worksheet, which is in the description below. It's free. This reset method, this game that I'm putting you on is free. So make sure you download, take a look at the description, download the freebie because it's free. And that is what I'm doing. I am filling out my reset method worksheet. I am taking my notes, I'm writing things down, I am trusting the process. And with me having a very intentional mindset, I'm creating a pattern that is slow living, that is gonna be designed for me and my joy. And that's what I'm hoping to bring to you. So I'm gonna finish up here, I'm gonna put some mulch down, so stick with me. Whew. Okay, it's got my plantain, got me some mulch, and listen, I know you're busy, and I ain't the one that's out here going to be fluffing you with nothing that's real. You know what I'm saying? It's hard work. All of this is hard work. This is not easy. Stuff is not easy. So I'm not trying to, I'm putting this down. This is fertilizer, slow release if you're wondering. This is organic, plantain, espoma. That's the only product that I use. I use espoma for my perennials. I use espoma for my evergreens and shrubs and conifers, my grasses. I have all of the product from the plantain to the biotone to the evergreen tone to the holly tone to the iron tone. It's the only product that I use. And, you know, again, this is not easy. You know, having a life, engineering a life that you want is hard work. Owning a house is hard work. Gardening, creating a low maintenance gardening system and beds is hard work. So following a system is important. Creating the reset method, a 5-step system, is by far the right opportunity to get you your time back. So now what I'll do is I'll come around and just mulch. Another engineered, smart decision, because I do not want to have more weeds come here after what I did. 2 to 3 inches of mulch is all you need. Whew. I already had mulch down, so now I fluffed it up. Okay, one back. Forgot to do my peony ferns, my lamb's ear. I'm just putting it around the drip line. Okay. So easy. And I love the handles. Having like over an acre of land, you know, you need that. And if you don't believe me that I use their product, here's evergreen, here's plantain, and biotone and everything else is in that shed over there. Like I can't garden without this, so it's definitely my go-to. So it's raining. I'm trusting what I just did is going to yield to some nice blooms, a healthier pollinating garden, because that's what this is. It has a lot of bees and butterflies, and so important for all of the wildlife that is up here in the Catskills in New York. I normally would water, but because it's raining, I don't really have to do that right now. But I do want to give you a little tour of my finished product, my pollinating garden up here in the Catskills. Let's go. So that's the fountain. I weeded a lot. So and that's next. Thank you for sticking with me. Again, my name is Stephon. This is Root and Roam Life. I do this with you and for you. I am, again, all about intentional living, slow living, purposeful living, with gardening at the forefront, right? So I gotta get in, it's raining, and my camera's getting wet, so see you in the next, see you in the dirt too. I call it dirt because I actually do with a lot of clay soil. So I'll keep you posted on how I'm amending my clay soil as well. All right, it's raining, bye.